Yes,
Go ahead.
I see her.
Okay.
For this?
Oh,
Here?
yes.
Okay,
Got it.
that would be between you two, and I'm now officially out of it.
So, essentially, I am a Chippendale dancer. If I'm not mistaken. Where's Matt when you need him? Matt, are you back there? No. Wait.
Now I can help you out anywhere you'd like.
Wait, what's that?
I can help you out.
You can help me out?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get up here and you'll strip and your friend will give you money. Then we're good? Great. So that sounds like a deal.
For a good cause.
Wait, what's that?
For a good cause.
It's for a good cause. No, if you want to strip for a cause, that's cool by me.
You know, hey. Earn a max.
There are definitely moments when you know an actor or performer does feel a bit like a prostitute. And
This would be one.
this
of
would be
them.
one of those moments. Although, are you a prostitute if you don't actually engage in the transaction?
No.
Possibly.
You can take the cash.
You could just take the cash and not be a prostitute?
You can, and walk away.
Is that how prostitution works? Because if so, I do want to be a prostitute. That is a great way to legalize prostitution. You can just say, look, here's the deal. We're going to legalize
it.
it.
2016.
What's that?
And you can vote for me 2016.
Okay. You legalize it by just saying, look, the Johns have to give the money. The sex part is optional after that.
Optional.
Great.
It's
Sounds
negotiable.
great.
We are donating to a charity that's nothing to do with that.
Okay, excellent.
Do you want it or not?
Do I? You've had gin? This is a great time to take people's money. How about this? Why don't you, are you going to be here tomorrow? Okay, see how you...
I'm so sorry, that came out terrible.
Probably you'll be here tomorrow. See how you feel about this by the sober light of day. And if you still want to give the money in a Chippendale sort of style, Jared's gonna be up here. And you can tell him that I said it was okay. It's a deal. Hello.
Hi. Sorry.
We met before, didn't we? Are you from Brazil?
No, I'm from Tunisia.
Tunisia, that's right, and you brought kale.
Yeah, I bought it from here.
Oh, you didn't bring it from
today
here.
at 8 a.m. because my kale died yesterday.
Did you bring it in carry-on on the plane?
No, I bought it here in Russia.
But so
At Walmart.
you did not bring kale
I
from
didn't.
Tunisia.
There is no kale in Tunisia.
Is there really not?
I didn't even know what kale tasted like until yesterday.
So, but now you do know what it tastes like?
Now I know it tastes super disgusting. How can you love kale? Do you even love it? Are you lying to us?
It could be just another malicious ploy.
It
like
could be,
like
and it
reading
might be.
kale and reading pie is the same thing.
Hey, anyway, sorry for freaking out the photo off. My question is, what do you think of the lack of representation in the show? And could you gently ask
Of
the
kale?
writers to...
Like there's not enough kale in the show?
Oh no!
Trust me, I've had a lot of conversations about that with them. I'm pretty pissed off.
I know you're not serious. Like half the time you're not serious at all. But just take this seriously.
You know, I don't know how you do things back in Tunisia, but in America, that's considered slander. I'm a very serious person.
You are.
Yes. Look at me, am I smiling right now? Barely. Shit. I couldn't even do that.
Are you trying to avoid the question?
I would never avoid the question.
So, I I'm waiting for an answer.
Okay, what is the question though?
What do you think?
That's also how we do things here. First you ask the question, and then you answer. All right, what is the question?
What do you think of the lack of representation in the show? And could you gently ask the writers to bring female characters and LGBT characters in the show? Because you know we only have white males in the show.
First of all, I'm black. I think when we were at Comic-Con, there was a question similar to this that a fan asked, and the cast all sort of threw Jeremy, our showrunner, under the bus by just. But I actually am going to rise to Jeremy and the writers' defense here because I think that the show, you know, he got in trouble because Charlie died, and Charlie is a character that we all love, and I personally love the fact that Charlie is a gay character, but her character's presence on the show isn't about being gay, which so often happens, I think. So often, I think in pop culture, we'll see gay characters, and it's all about the crazy fact that they're gay, you know? And she's just a cool hunter who is, you know, a tech wizard who happens to be gay, and it's not what the show, it's not what her character's point on the show is about. So as far as representation is concerned, I think that that's actually like a really noble and important type of representation to have. I also think that if we have characters that we love that we are also afraid they really may die, it raises the stakes on the show a tremendous amount. So we can't have sacred cows. We can't say we're not going to kill, you know, female characters or gay characters because, you know, that's, you know, not PC. But the truth is, if we don't have a palpable fear that any character on the show could die at any given point, then I'm not emotionally invested in it because I think they're going to be fine. It's like James Bond. He's like, you know, you watch it and you're like, he's going to be fine. Although more or less, you know, Sam and Dean are probably going to be. They're kind of they're the James Bond anchors of the show. You know they're going to be fine. But you know, I don't know. So I think it's complicated, but also I talked to Aisha Tyler, who's very smart, and she is a huge fan of Supernatural. She's watched every episode, loves the show, and what she said was really interesting, and I think that's maybe something that the writers and the cast haven't really articulated that much, but the show has kind of evolved, and I think organically, to be a show about kind of a brotherhood of men. It's about these masculine characters. I mean, it's anchored by these two brothers, right? And it's about the relationship between these two brothers. And so the show is definitely weighted toward the masculine, but I don't think that that's an exclusionary thing. I think that that's just how the story has evolved, because the story is about this, you know, this profound bond between brothers, and you know, and the characters that have had the most organic endurance on the show have also, you know, Mark, me, and Jim have also happened to be men. But I don't know. I for some reason I don't think that that's as evil as you do. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to paraphrase what Aisha said, but she said it's actually, for her as a woman watching the show, it's a really unusual thing to have a show that actually grapples with issues of masculinity and does it in an organic, natural way. And that's what she sort of called out as a thing that she loves about the show. I'm not saying that the show is really a show about masculinity, but it is I think, a cornerstone of it anyway. And the writers of the show are all very thoughtful, very intelligent, very, I would say, politically progressive people. So they're not out to get us. And I personally, I look forward to seeing more representations of women and LGBT characters on the show, and I'm sure that that's coming down the pipe. I think that society is definitely warming up to those storylines, and it's great to be able to be in an industry that can help push that envelope faster and further forward. I'm definitely rambling now, and I'm aware of that. So I'm probably going to stop.
Just wanted to... One last thing, I just want to thank you for being such a hero and for like helping us through our futures. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, that's very sweet. I did want to say one other thing about Charlie in particular. I was killed, I think, 6 times on the show, and I really thought that I was gone. I think maybe the 4th time they killed me, they sat me down, they're like, sorry, we're not going to see you again, you're dead. And I came back, and I'm still on the show. So I don't think that just because the character has been killed on Supernatural, she's walked away, but it doesn't really mean anything. I don't know if you've seen the show, but I'm still talking to you, but that's okay.
Hello. I would like to know, what's your favorite video game?
What's my favorite video game?
Yes.
Miss Pac-Man. Obviously. What's your favorite video game?
Legend of Zelda.
What is Legend of Zelda? I'm just kidding. What do you do in Legend of Zelda?
Kill things.
Kill things. So it's pretty much Miss Pac-Man, huh? Is it a spin-off of Miss Pac-Man?
Well, do you save princesses in this?
Basically. I mean, not per se, no. Okay.
Do you have a sword in Pac-Man?
You kind of have a sword, you have a mouth. And a bow. In your round-headed head. I didn't play a lot of video games growing up. I don't play any video games now. I think it's because I'm too impatient, perhaps. But we did used to go to a laundromat to do our laundry that had some pretty sick games, like Centipede and Galaga, which I got pretty good at. I could make it to like the 4th level. I was pretty terrible at video games. But we would save up our quarters and we would play. And we were into it. So I think we share that bond. Thank you.
Hi, Sarah.
Sorry, one more thing. So also, I would go over to my friend's house. My friend had a computer, which was super cool, and he had some video games on his computer, and one of them was, Mario Brothers. And we would play Mario Brothers all day long. Like, because I didn't have free, unfettered access to video games. I had to put a quarter in every time I wanted to play, and I didn't have that many quarters, so we would go there and we would play for like 12 hours straight, and then I remember I would dream Mario Brothers. I would be like, boing! It's amazing. Do you ever dream Zelda?
It's called the Tetris syndrome.
It's called the Tetris syndrome?
Yeah.
It's a real thing, huh?
It's a real thing.
I think it means that I caused serious harm.
There was this one time in the grocery store.
Yep. I like where this story is going already.
We had all of our groceries in bags
We had our groceries out, and suddenly I grabbed the sword and started attacking other...
No, I started playing Tetris with the groceries. I didn't know what I was doing. I started like taking them out and putting them back in the cart, like really neat, when they were in the bags.
Okay, that's not the Tetris syndrome, that's OCD, but whatever. Good talking to you. Hi.
Hello. My question is, what's the strangest thing you've done for money? And also, what would be the strangest thing you would do for money?
When... No, okay, too blue. Okay, I'm trying to think of what I can share with you. At one point, when I was in college, somebody said I was on the north side of Chicago, and this guy came up to me, he's like, I'll give you $20 for a blowjob. I was like, no! He said, no, I'll give you the blowjob. And I was like, do people pay in that direction? That doesn't make any sense. I didn't take him up on it, but it did get me thinking, like, well, I mean, if you could make a living doing that, that would be pretty good. But that's not appropriate for this room, so we won't talk about that. See you on Tumblr in the morning, yeah. Let's see. That's a really good question. She's just giving me the money. Okay, so there you go. This is the strangest thing I've ever done for money right now. It's also the strangest thing I would do for money, so we just killed two birds with one stone there. It's for charity. Holy shit, it's a lot of money. I didn't know you had this much money. I thought they were fucking ones. Good on you. Oh, a hug, yes. So that is, technically because we're touching each other, this does make it prostitution. Thank you. Yes, Jared's still on for tomorrow. I did this other thing that was similar to what just happened here. When I think I was in like the end of high school, there was a guy in town who was an artist, older guy, and he wanted to paint, wanted to do drawings, and he wanted I was going to be the figure drawing person, or I don't know what to call it, but I was the model. So, and the idea is I just sit in the chair and he draws me.
Naked?
Not naked. Not naked. Totally above board. Not the naked figure drawing is not above board. But I felt really super strange doing that job because he would get so close and I just had to stay still. But it was like, he was like inspecting me with this little drawing thing really close, and my whole job was to keep staring in one direction. And it felt really strange. I don't know if you've ever been inspected for long hours at a time, but it's a strange thing to do for money. I also worked on, when I was 11, now the ideas are coming, I worked on what's called a Polish butterfly. And it's a tractor that looks like a biplane because it has these long wings that are right above the ground. And then there's another wing above that, and you lie on the lower wing, and you pick cucumbers as it very slowly drives down the road. So you're lying on your stomach, picking cucumbers. That job really sucked. Super shitty job. If anyone ever, they make it sound fun, like Polish butterfly, you think, oh, that's gonna be great. Not great, so don't fall for it if anybody offers you a job on Polish butterfly. How about you? What's the weirdest thing you've ever done for money?
I don't have a job.
Have you ever done anything for money?
I get paid to sing.
You get paid to sing.
I've done, yeah.
That doesn't sound so bad.
It's not really strange. I mean, I've like sung on radio and stuff, but it's not really like strange.
Okay. All right. Good, safe answer. Good for you. I shouldn't have said the things that I did, but I did. Had I known we were allowed to answer that way, I would have gotten off the hook much easier. Damn. Hi.
When Castiel was saving Dean from hell, he was working with a garrison that had like Balthazar and Ananias, etc. in it. And I was wondering if you could elaborate on your own headcanons about what Cass's relationship with his garrison actually was.
Elaborate on my own what?
Headcanon? Like what?
Headcanon? Is that another new term that I haven't learned?
I don't know.
So is headcanon what I think goes on in your own
It's
head?
not headcanon, except it's your own head.
So is headcanon...
It's your idea.
Hold on! Is headcanon only the purview of actors and writers or something on the show, or can anyone have headcanon?
Anyone can have headcanon.
Is it contagious?
Kind of. Because you can explain your headcanon and then other people are like, oh, I got it.
Oh,
And then-
you can spread headcanon.
Yeah.
So you have to, somehow, you have to be careful about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
2 ends or 3?
it's highly contagious, it sounds like. My headcanon on the garrison is that, that they were a pretty tight-knit, you know, in the trenches, in the foxhole, fighting group with not a lot of great jokes. You know? I do recall Uriel being the funniest angel in the garrison. And as far as I know, he didn't even crack a hint of a smile ever on the show, let alone any joke of any kind. So that gives you any indication of how much fun the garrison had together. Although Balthazar was in the garrison, apparently. Is that true? Was he in the garrison? Because my headcanon's a little foggy on that point. But if he was in the garrison, then I think that there was some fairly lascivious stories being told at bedtime.
Alright, thank you.
Do you have headcanon?
About the garrison or in general?
About the garrison.
Kind of.
Do you want to share it, or are you
I
afraid
guess
it's
I
going to
can.
affect me?
I guess my headcanon is that, like, the garrison, because hell moves so slowly, and I imagine that the angels noticed pretty fast that Dean had been taken. So they would have been working through getting him from hell for, like, at least 30 plus years hell time. So...
You're making me feel like I have really terrible headcanon.
It seemed like they were all pretty serious, except for Balthazar. But everybody other than
I'm thinking, like, did Balthazar tell us stories about sex at the garrison or not? And you're getting into some really thoughtful stuff that proves that you have robust headcanon. All right, I'm going to work on mine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. 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 How are you?
Good.
What's on your dress? Are those leaves or bats? Leaves.
Palm tree.
Palm trees. I can't see because I'm old. Does that mean that you're from a tropical place?
No.
Are you from subtropical place? Or do you live in a deciduous forest? Are you from one of the plain states? The mother says, just say no to everything. Are you,
I don't have a YouTube channel.
you live in a conifer forest?
Michigan.
Michigan! You guys have some conifers, not a lot though, right? Well, what are you doing here? Are you just here for the convention, or are you guys spending some time in Washington, D.C.? How long were you here for, do you know?
Since Thursday.
Since Thursday, did you get to meet the president? No. Are you going to?
No.
Mom? All the way here, you're not meeting the
It's a
president?
sore subject because everybody else in her family has profiles.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. Finally, I have to open my big mouth.
She got to meet Misha Collins.
Yeah. Sorry, it's a terrible consolation prize. She doesn't want a hug from me. She wants to meet the president. So are you a watcher of Supernatural? Let me ask you that question. Do you watch Supernatural?
Yes.
How old are you?
9.
So have you been watching since it first started airing? When did you start watching? Do you remember?
No.
Were you pre-verbal? Are you enjoying this line of questioning? How old were you, do you think, when you started watching Supernatural, or do you remember?
8.
Really? Wasn't it too scary for you? What? Are you a ruthless killer? How could you not be scared by that stuff? I have nightmares when I watch Supernatural. And I'm much older. What do you like about the show?
Everything.
Even Crowley? It's okay to say no. He's not here right now, so we're safe. All right, I've asked you too many questions. It's not fair. Do you have a question that you want to ask?
Yes.
I'll let you ask it. Go ahead. What is it?
If you had to be a different character on Supernatural, who would you be?
Crowley. You think that's a good choice? What would you be? If you could be any character on Supernatural, which one would you be?
Dean or you?
That's those are pretty good choices. Can I make a recommendation? If Supernatural, the universe of Supernatural, were a real thing, if it was real, which it is, I would recommend, and you could be one of the characters, I would recommend being Castiel because there's a chance that you might live forever. Sure, you'll be a little socially awkward, but you'll be able to live forever, which has its benefits, you know? She died 6 times and still is alive. So just, I don't know, talk to Jensen, see if he has another opinion on the matter, but I think I would go with Castiel. Good talking to you. Hi.
Okay, so in the Supernatural parody, you do a really weird dance. It's National Dance Day, apparently. So
What's that?
It's National Dance Day. So,
It's National Dance Day?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? So we went into this, this was...
Come on, do it!
I'm not gonna do it. There was You probably, most of you have seen this Supernatural parody thing. And the women that do that parody show were at a convention, and basically we were, you know, they would just say, oh hey, you have a minute to do this thing? Go into this little, I think it was a closet, go into the closet, and they're like, all right, got some music, do a couple of dance moves, 5 seconds, super fast, and and I did this weird, like, I don't know where that came from, or, and it was like, okay, they were like, okay, great, and I was walking away, and I was like, was I just giving, like, what was I just Anyway, I know I ended up seeing it, and fortunately I can say it did come out looking pretty cool.